Crypto crime is shifting towards state-driven activity, with sanctioned entities' inflows surging 694% in 2025, highlighting growing risks for financial markets. We have here Caitlin Martin of Chainalysis and Chunhong Chua of Moody's to give more insight into the trends. Welcome, Caitlin and Chun. Let's begin with where this is coming from. What explains the surge in crypto flows in sanctioned entities?
Well, really, what we're seeing now is that nation states like Iran and Russia are now using crypto at scale for things like trade settlement, reserve diversification, procurement of dual use goods, and even financial innovation. Crypto is no longer just a sanctions workaround, but it's really a significant part of parallel financial systems and alternative trade rails that assist nation states. The specific surge this year is really related to high volume activity for Russia's ruble backed token, the A7A5 token, as well as the designation of several high volume wallets belonging to Iranian regime actors and their proxies. For example, the Houthi wallets, which were sanctioned last year in April, had transacted nearly $1 billion. And so that really contributes to that surge that we're seeing throughout 2025.
Additionally, a lot of the sanctions entities will try to evade the sanctions regime by using shell company hidden bank accounts. But right now, they are using crypto as a railway that is parallel to the correspondent banking system that's outside of SWIFT. So it makes it easier for them to now run these transactions.
Just for better context on this, how are sanctioned states increasingly using cryptocurrency to evade global financial restrictions?
Different nation states are doing it in different ways. So if you think about Russia, they're using their A7A5 token, which is backed by the Russian ruble, to on-ramp fiat funds to the blockchain, and then swapping those A7A5 tokens for stablecoins, and then using those stablecoins to facilitate international trade and procurement. In order to circumvent the sanctions that have been placed on traditional financial institutions since its 2022. Look at the Iranian regime conducting trade using stablecoins through an intricate shadow banking network that is facilitated by financiers and proxies. Commonality here is that sanctioned states and actors are acquiring stablecoins and then using those stablecoins as Western currency backed currencies that conduct transactions that would otherwise be very difficult to execute through traditional financial institutions.
Now, a lot of them be using just Bitcoins, but also they're going to use the likes of stable coins because the stable coins offer denominated settlement without any direct interaction with the traditional US financial system, right? So they're able to extract the value from all this transactions within the VSP that is in the less regulated jurisdiction. Some of these cryptocurrencies, they're really hard to enforce, especially when it comes to travel rule. So it's easy for them to take a cold wallet and bringing them to a less regulated jurisdiction and to start to extract those values.
So if you were both to make recommendations, what regulatory measures are needed to counter crypto-enabled sanctions evasion?
I really think that it comes down to the basics of AML and CTF measures implemented in traditional banking. So things like real-time transaction monitoring for VASTs to block liquidity flows to and from sanctioned actors, and robust KYC procedures to ensure that individuals from sanctioned jurisdictions are able to set up accounts at VASTs. It's also really helpful when we see the inclusion of crypto addresses in sanctions designations that helps compliant crypto ecosystem to block activity from sanctioned actors. At 25, we saw the US Treasury OFAC, the UK's OFC, the EU as well include cryptocurrency addresses as identifiers. Further, I think that there are really some great opportunities for law enforcement to work with stablecoin issuers to freeze illicit funds from heavily sanctioned nation-state actors.
Now, traditionally, the banks, especially those that are doing correspondent banking, under strict financial regulatory compliance, then their own customers UBO, so that there's no sanctioned entities that will transact with each other. Now, the same must be applied to the stablecoin issuers as well as the exchange, where this such value can be extracted, so that they cannot bypass detection from the banking ecosystem by going under the radar through using crypto.
Thank you so much for your time today, Caitlin and Shun. Hope you can join us again soon.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Once again, those were Caitlin Martin, Senior Intelligence Analyst at Chainalysis, and Shun-Hong Chua, Senior Director at Moody's. For more news, visit govmedia.com.